because I knew you were stepping over him. Something like he spent the night. Everybody staying the night. Tell us about how, God was moving, and you have like a weekend retreats, and people would come from all around. Tell us
We
about
had one
that.
every 3 months.
Tell us about that.
Well, we just invite them down, and just Shelley would cook for the whole bunch. She'd cook for 200 of them. And she fixed what she called camp stew. Everybody loves it. And when they come over and eat with us at the house, they're disappointed if she don't have that. But we just get them together, and I'd let some of them share things Christ was doing with them. And give me just a couple of examples. There's just so many different things you could say. But we had one guy and his brother that were Methodist, but they've been baptized in Spirit. They were in our ministry up there. And they brought 3 or 4 Methodist boys down with them that were in whatever that Methodist school is in Atlanta.
Okay.
Name of it. But anyway, they were going to ministry school there. And so they brought them down there. And when we got through preaching, I'd preached on the baptism of the Holy Spirit and all that, but I didn't preach on water baptism or anything like that. But when all those boys said, "Would you take us down and baptize us in the creek down here?" And by the way, I pastored the same church 47 years here in Marianna, and I baptized more people in swimming pools and lakes and ponds and creeks than I have in church.
That's so much better than in a trough at a church building.
Anyway, we had to slide down this clay hill to get into the water, and they lined up across there, and just one right behind the other. And when I'd baptize them, when they'd come up, they would come up speaking in tongues.
Whoa! This is a Methodist.
Well, behind them, the next one up is looking at the eyes this big, and I'd grab him and baptize him, and he'd come up speaking, and it happened with all of them.
These were Methodist. These were Methodist students.
Yeah, that's right.
God can fill a Methodist baptism. Oh my goodness, that's exciting.
Yeah, he even caused them to go to a contemporary worship service. Whatever that is.
That's so awesome, because you look back at the church, the first church, and that, God moved on all of his people. And it was the very fact when Peter was, he's Jewish, he's a believer, and he didn't think anybody other than just could be saved. And then God gave him the vision of,
that's right,
everybody can, but he still didn't understand it. Then he went to a Gentile's house, which is a non-Jew for those that are listening. And when he was preaching a message to people, he did not expect an altar call. Then all of a sudden it was the Holy Spirit which was the determining factor of what God was going to do. God showed what he was going to do specifically by the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Because if any Gentile does not believe in the baptism of the Holy Spirit, that's what brought us in. That's what shut them out of the council when they got together and said, "We got to go talk about this." And they went back. They went back and talked about it, and they said, "Well, listen, this is what God's doing. We got to accept what God's doing, right?"
That's right. I was teaching Bible, Charismatic Bible, in a Catholic church in Panama City. The priest there asked me to come to a class he had and teach one time. So I did. So he said, "Why don't you come back every week and just teach this class and teach us the Charismatic references in the Bible?" I said, "Okay, I'll do that." So I did that for about 3 months. And one of the ladies in it came up to me and said, "All of us ladies have been praying about this baptism of the Holy Spirit thing, and we just having a problem with it. And I know that Mary is not a co-redemptress, but she is still honored among women.
Yes, right.
She is Jesus' mother."
Right.
Now, I told them, I said, "Well, this upper room experience they had where they all spoke with tongues and all that stuff?" She said, "Yeah." And the others are nodding behind her like that. And I said, "Mary was up there. She was in the middle of that." And they just grinned from ear to ear and took off.
You blew the whole thing out of the water at that point. Well, yeah, because we were actually studying of course, the Charismatic Renewal movement, and then did it begin down in Fort Lauderdale with the Catholics being filled down there, and then they began the school of the Holy Spirit?
Yeah, no, he was Mennonite.
Okay, Mennonite.
You're talking about Derek
Prince?
No, it wasn't him. I forgot his name now. Anyway.
But you're looking at, one thing that when the Holy Spirit comes down, he breaks all the dividing walls that men create and all the division. And he says, "I love everybody, and I want everybody to be filled, with my Spirit."
That's right.
And when he does that, he takes over.
We had a lawyer come to me after we'd been in the ministry we were meeting in old TV shops and an old restaurant that had closed down, and it had already gotten too big for houses, you know.
Right.
And about the third, fourth year, I had a lawyer come to me, big lawyer here in Marietta, and said, I just want you to know that me, and he named two other lawyers here in town, we have been trying to put you out of business behind your back for 2 years. We cannot make 1 inch of headway. And we just want you to know that we're leaving you alone. I said, I didn't know you were doing it, so it didn't bother me.
Right.
I just know we're living in ignorance, you know. And
They must have been serving on one of those committees.
ignorance is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, God definitely protects us from a lot of things. I was just meditating on that recently. Hey, thank you for watching the Greg Lancaster Show. Don't forget to follow us, like us, and subscribe. Go to our YouTube channels, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, Parler, Spotify, iTunes. Download our app, even on Getter. Go to the Apple Store and rate us. When you rate us, more people will get the broadcast. That's how this whole logarithm thing works. And thank you for watching the Greg Lancaster Show.